Hello, this is Kirill from forexboat.com, and this is the third tutorial in our series of MQL4 tutorials for complete beginners. Last time we talked about variables and types of variables, and today we're going to move one step forward and we will talk about how we can actually use these variables in operations, how we can add them, subtract them, divide them, and so on. So as you can see here, I've already started a new script called tutorial3, which is you can also see on the left in the navigator. We will start by creating a variable of the type integer, and we'll call it a, and we will assign a value of 10. So this is how we did it last time, and today I'm going to show you a new technique which will allow you to save a little bit of space. So this part, this first line is called the declaration of a variable. The second part is called the initialization of a variable. MQL4 actually allows you to combine the two into one line. And in order to do this, we need to take this equals 10 part and put it into the first line, and that way we don't need the second line anymore. And what this does is it first creates a variable of type type int, and calls it a, and then it assigns a value of 10. So now let's create another one, and we'll call it b, give it a value of 5, and another one which we'll call c, but we won't give it any value, so we'll just create variable c. Now what we want to do is we want to add a plus b and put the result into c, it's quite intuitive how to do that. We type in c equals a plus b, and at this stage this is an expression, and we need to put a semicolon on the end to turn it into a statement. We will be using expressions with like this. We'll be using expressions like this further on in MQL4, and they're used for various reasons, but we can't just leave it here right now by itself without a semicolon, because if we try to compile we get an error, and we need to turn it into a statement, and for that we'll put a semicolon on the end. Try compiling again. As you can see, no errors or warnings, and just like last time, let's check if the program is working correctly by outputting c onto our screen, the value of c onto our screen, using an alert statement. So let's compile that. Go to the terminal. There's MetaTrader 4. Now we'll look into the scripts folder. There's tutorial 3. We can either drag and drop or just double click, and there we go. So the result of a plus b, 10 plus 5 is 15. Okay, that's good. Now we'll go back to our code, and for a change, now let's look at double variables. And so these are variables that can have a decimal point, and say we'll call the first one var1, and we'll give it a value of 2.5, and double var2, give it a value of 4, for example, and we want to see the result of the division of one of these by the other. So we can actually initialize the result variable right here using var1 and var2, and we'll say var1 divided by var2, semicolon again, and then we'll add another alert here saying result. So let's see what that will give us. We compile that, go to the terminal, tutorial 3. There we go. So first alert gives us 15, and the second alert gives us 0.625, which is perfect. Now we're going back to the code, and the next step that we're going to look at is working with string variables, and I think that this is an important aspect of MQL4 because we'll be working with strings quite a lot, and mostly just to output messages for testing purposes and notification purposes. So let's have a look at how we can use strings in a similar fashion. So let's create a string called greeting, and the value of this string has to be text, and in order to specify text, we need to put two quotation marks around it, a pair of quotation marks around it, and the text in this case will be hello, and semicolon, string, then we'll call a variable, the next variable we'll call it space. Here we'll just put a text which just contains one simple space symbol, and the last string that we want to use, say it'll be name, and then we'll give it a value of Bob. So just as it was with integers, this is the variable and this is the value, and with doubles, this is the variable and this is the value. Here with strings, this is the variable, this is the value, and the value is text, and therefore it's in quotation marks. Now let's see how we can add these three strings together. We will create a string and we'll call it message. We won't give it any value at this stage, and here we'll say message equals greeting plus space plus name, and let's see if we can output this result, message. Alright, let's compile that. No errors or warnings. Let's go to the terminal, tutorial 3, and here we can see hello space Bob. That's great. And now let's go back to the code. And to finish off, let's do something a bit more complicated. Let's try combining a string variable with our result, our double variables or our integer variables to get some sort of message. So I'll just comment these out while we don't need them. And instead of message being greeting plus space plus name, we will give message the following values. Message equals value of A is colon space, and then here we'll say plus A semicolon, and then we'll go alert message compile. So here we get a warning. This is not an error, it's got a yellow sign, meaning it's a warning, meaning that A is being converted to a string. It's actually an integer, but it's being converted to a string, and it's just letting us know that this is happening. There's no problems with that here, so we'll just we've compiled that. We'll go to the terminal and see what tutorial 3 gives us. There you go, value of A is 10. Alright, so if we want to get rid of this error, we have to convert A to a string ourselves, and that is done in this following way. We have to type in string and put brackets around A. We compile, the error disappears, and we go back to the terminal, same result. It's not really necessary to do this. It's just for peace of mind, if you don't want the message, the warning to come up. But otherwise, if you're fine with the warning, just A by itself is also good. So that's basically how you can perform simple operations on variables, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. More information and tutorials are available on forexboat.com, and until the next time, happy coding!